Welcome back. Welcome back to the Cosas Verdes show, where we're going to cover Bitcoin price action, altcoin price action, and how to do some TA to help guide you to have a more profitable crypto journey. So let's, what we're going to do in this stream is I'm going to try to cover Bitcoin a little bit more quickly because things are obviously down. I've already given the targets of where it's likely going from my last YouTube video, which was very timely. Very timely, but the target has not been hit. And then I'm going to cover a few altcoins before I get to questions, based off the idea that some altcoins that I cover get way more views than others. So I'm going to try to go through this quickly. I won't be so... Cross your fingers that I won't be that long-winded. I want to knock that out within 35 minutes and then get about 30 minutes of the Q&A. And typically with the Q&A, I scan down people who are part of the tiers, the Cryptillion or the loyalty tier, because you got a badge. I'll answer those questions and super chats first, and then I'll, if I have time, then I'll go back to other questions that look interesting to me. What we have going on right now is Bitcoin still has not touched the gap on the CME. The CME chart has not gone to 18,400 or so. The 6-month candle is closing in an hour, so it'll happen during this live chat. It is atrocious. It's essentially like a double bearish engulfing candle, which has never happened in Bitcoin before. It's only happened in traditional market, I think, twice. It's happened in both. So things look like they're gonna get a little nasty, and it looks like 12 to 14K. If I would say potentially worst case, but in the month of July, Bitcoin could easily hit 12 to 14K in a month. In a month from now, it really could start accelerating to the downside. I'm not saying that's the most probable case, but I want to show you in the chart just a very easy visual that everybody should be able to appreciate, that it might not be probable, but it looks darn reasonable. So with no further ado, let's go take a look at Bitcoin. All right, check this out. I'm going to have I think this channel gets things from the 69K top. 4-hour chart should do it. Yes, it does. So I'm on the 4-hour chart. And again, if you want to steal this and pause the video, because I'm recording it, so I'll upload this to YouTube after the live show, feel free to screenshot it and figure out how to do it. Since I've already shown you how to do the rotated rectangle, which is this button up here, which makes this guy, all that stuff, you can just... This will stay active for months and months and months, right? This is the 69K top. Can you have channels within channels? Absolutely. I was just playing a channel from here to here. But this is the new macro channel. It's going to stay good, potentially until 2024. It might only be 2023 where it starts breaking up and out of it. But if you do this, and so for my Discord community, I'm getting ready to upload a tutorial video, the 7th in the series of the highly edited ones where it's all compact, takes out all my ands and ums, and I'm going to show folks exactly how to do it. And I will have that uploaded by, hopefully Saturday, in 2 days in the afternoon. So if you haven't checked out Discord, where I show folks tutorials on how to set up charts and guide them in the for a more profitable crypto journey, and show folks how to trade safely with futures, check out the Discord, and I post some bomb-ass charts on Twitter, Cosas Verdes with the number 2. And if you want more of a layup as opposed to spending hours within a community, I post about 15 to 30 updates on traditional markets and crypto. Plus, I provide recordings of the Cryptillion Discord tiers, so you can approach those things as you see fit, as opposed to needing to be there on time per my schedule. All right. And with those Cryptillion tiers, for the YouTube tiers, I will look at the live questions first because you get an emblem. So let's check out 12K. All right. Why are 12 and 4K so darn reasonable? Again, this is the 69K top back in November of 2021. Okay, going on about 7-8 months ago, and you can see that top essentially got rejected by the point of control, went down and sideways for a bit, and then what did it do? Touched the bottom of this perfectly. The next time it got rejected from the point of control, what did it do? Trickle down, touch the bottom perfectly. So a fractal from here to here, or a fractal from here to here, looks, I mean, just went up, got rejected from the top of the point of control, sure, but that makes sense because it just came from the top of the channel. It didn't come from the top of the channel back here. So this should be, I think it's reasonable to say, whatever happens after here, it could be an equivalent of this, essentially, right? Let's check that out. For some reason, that fractal's smaller. Oh, because it might not get this. There you go. All right, that is 13K, 13.4, and you can see down below here where I'm hovering, that's in July. That's less than 30 days away. I'm not saying it's probable, but you damn sure better have that on your top 4 most likely situations for the next 30 days. Let's take the next fractal of the last times it got rejected by the point of control in this mega range. Like this is, it's going to be an over a year long range, a trading channel downward, right? So let's take that one off here, from here to here. Sure it did it right. No, it made it shorter. For some reason, my fractals on Tradingview have, after I take them, it immediately gets smaller for some reason. So then I got to stretch it back out and make it the way it should be. All right, and we take it from about there. So Bitcoin did get a perfect, like a near perfect rejection from the bottom. If I zoomed in here, let me zoom in here and show you. Before it started really going down, which shame on me, I didn't catch that. But you did get, you did on this candle here, or one of these candles, it wicked up to touch that almost perfectly if I were on a different time frame. And so I will post it from there. Rejection from the bottom. Yeah, maybe even go like this. Okay, somewhere in there. And that is 12,000. Yeah, it's about 13K as well. So 12 to 14K. 14K makes a little bit more sense when you look left because there's more structure over there. And we'll do that here in a second. So it's always good to match up what happens on a channel by looking left at horizontals. And that increases the probability of things happening. So that means it could just hit it a little sooner, essentially, if it were 14K, something like that. So I will do this version and a shortened version to hit 14K. All right. And let's bump these up. And now let's go. Again, this isn't necessarily TA necessarily. However, I want to show you why it is reasonable. Visually, you can see this very clearly, right? And it should be within the top 4 or 5 most probable things that you see happening over the next 30 days. And so I'm going to try to look left. I almost forgot what I was doing for a second, sorry. And here is, I think, the structure. Oh, that's the 20K structure, or 14K. So there's some, yeah, so you have this top here, and you have this support top, and then you have structure over here. Zoom in. You don't have much structure, so this really just zoomed through it. So most of your structure is from this top over here. This is when Bitcoin went in early 2019 from 3,200. Huge, massive, essentially trap. But it wasn't a trap. I'm so sorry. It was a squeeze. It was a short squeeze. And it just kept squeezing up, especially everybody shorting here. People thought it was going to come up to here, which is very obvious, and it just busted through. Obviously, then it went down to check it, and then did it all over again. It was like a double squeeze. It was a double huge squeeze. It was. It's a bummer y'all didn't live through, or some of y'all didn't live through that. This was a massively confusing time. It go straight from bottom, almost like 3/4 up to your previous top, and then do it all, then crash again. This was very difficult. And then 14K also gets this support here from the topish area. So let's go ahead and go like this. See how this matches. Let's actually go, get a couple of these tops here. So I'll bring this down to get the tops of 2018 first dead cat bounce, and it should go through this area here as well. So you got a lot of structure here. So you don't have structure on the way up at 14, but you have it way back here, which is better. It's stronger. So bring that through. Now let's zoom back in onto the 4-hour chart, and let's see how these play around with that. Because this is a major support area. So this was the shortened fractal, which actually makes less sense. So I will delete that one. That's the one I manipulated. These are the actual fresh fractals. Boom. That actually looks really realistic, folks. Look, it hits it exactly where they intersect. And you know when two important lines cross, gosh, it might hit that on the nose. It really might, dude, on the 22nd to the... I'm going to put a freaking arrow there. Or no, I should put a Kosa box there. Let's do a Kosa box. Kosa box usually, I would say usually, more than 50% of the time they get hit. So let's put a Kosa box there so I can just keep making... I can get the Grim Reaper back out for my futures. So I'm doing a journey from... essentially publicly, especially for Discord, but I'm showing them how I'm going to I'm taking a futures count from starting with $5,000 to $100,000. It's kind of been like Bitcoin price goes up, higher, low, up, higher, low, up, higher, low. So right now I'm forming a higher low at about 17.2. I really chopped my account. I'm getting pecked to death because I was wrong for about 2 days after about a $10,000 winning streak. I just couldn't do anything wrong, and then 2 days I was stubborn and I didn't. Yeah, I just made a higher low. That's just how it is. You don't go straight up forever in your accounts. So if this were to happen, I would probably be killing it again because all I need is a trend. I'd probably get I'd probably in my journey probably make a higher low here. As the trend changes a little bit, and when the trend picks back up, I would then make a higher high. So usually the trading during these times, it's harder and you do less well when a trend changes on small time frames like the 1 to 4 hour to succumb again. So that's essentially what happened to me during this point here. Here I was shorting from here to here. From that point to here is where I got chopped up. So I made my higher low from here to here. My account went from 22 to like 17.5 or something. Anyway, so if you're not following along, I post the abbreviated version of that stuff on Twitter, my journey, and then more in-depth stuff. I actually show my account and all my bad moves and all my good moves, but especially my bad moves to my VIPs and my Cryptillions, just so they know what real trading looks like. It's not all sunshine, and it's not just an account creator posting, oh, I had a big gain, look at me. Even though I do that, I showboat when I'm on a roll. Absolutely, I got to. But when I get hurt, when I take hits, I really focus on that with my Discord community. So follow along, and again, Discord community links are in the description section of my videos. Yeah, this looks perfect. Let's try the other one. It's almost too good. Hopefully y'all are following along with how I'm doing that. So let's go. Where should this one start? Start about here. Or should I start it about here? I don't know what would be better. Actually, this looks a little better. This looks actually pretty related right now. So that would hit the same area just about 3 days earlier. Can't tell where it would hit. This makes sense too. But that would be the bottom of it. That'd be 12K. Whew, that'd be dirty. Yeah, so again, what I'm showing you is Bitcoin price has been in this channel for 8 months. It's going to stay in this channel. Given that it got rejected from the point of control, essentially the most important thing in the channel, well, let's look left and how did it behave the last times? Well, this is exactly how it behaved, and both times it did almost the same exact thing. If it did anything similar, it would be end of July, early August. Bitcoin is around 12 to 14K. Be prepared for this. Don't try learning how to, altcoins, aren't doing anything, so I'm going to put all my money into futures, and this is the bottom, and I'm going long. You're going to get destroyed. You're going to get destroyed. Please don't do that. This could just, the move down in a macro sense could really start accelerating on Bitcoin. These are your overall targets. Let me show you what I think for the micro side of things, what could end up happening. So this is more of your mid-long-term analysis, or 30-day analysis. It could easily hit there. However, for more immediate type of stuff, it's just the next line down. it looks like the gap fill on CME will be overshot. And so what I just said is very important, because there are two ways the gap could be filled. One is more bearish than the other. And the bearish one that I'm about ready to show you how a gap can be filled is price can tank down on the weekend and still fill the gap when it reopens on Tuesday, because it went lower than the gap, and by Tuesday as it's in, and so it starts working its way up before CME opens, and it's still at the gap because it went way lower. It could easily happen. So there are two ways that this gap is going to be, I would guess it would be likely to be filled, with the assumption it'll happen within the next 30 days. So you have a CME gap at around 18.4. So this isn't spot price, but I'm gonna put it on. This is spot and not CME. So the gaps happen on CME, it's not on spot, because spot never stops trading. But let's just put this here. If you see on this channel, the lines are your ping pong lines, right? Or what do you call it? Pinball machine, where it goes. It's like bumpers. I said they're bumpers. Like literally, they're bumpers. So if you just bumped here, got rejected from this, and fell off, you can't bump up until this is hit. That's 18K on the nose, right? So when this gap is filled, either price will hang out and come up here to get rejected, wait for CMEs to open up and then fill it, it could easily happen. So this is one avenue over the next 5 to 7 days. Let's actually see. So it could just go like this, come up shy, boom, boom, get rejected, maybe one more fake out, boom, 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 come fill it during the week. Nope, that would be July 4th, so that's not actually long enough. So let me actually mark off July 5th. When CME's open right here, well, they open at night actually, so July 4th late right there is actually the exact hour they open. All right, I'm on the 4-hour chart doing this. Let me go to the hour. All right, is this the exact hour? Yeah, so that's when CME is open, exactly to the hour. So Bitcoin could put in a local low, get here, boom, 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 fake out, boom, and then work its way down and start filling this, on Tuesday when things open back up, and then hit that line, because you can't really get a strong bounce until that line is hit. So the last low, what happened? It didn't bounce until it hit this line. You see that? It got this is partly, even though I didn't have this exact channel here, I had a slightly different channel, but it hit a channel line and a horizontal at the same time. That's why I was able to actually, with my community or VIPs, particularly in Discord, we caught this knife, took profits at the next line. I mean, just look how easy this was. Look, caught the knife, took profits here, and then we got the higher low at a 45-degree angle. We literally hit this. And I can show you the trade setups to show it before it ever happened. Yeah, we did a very, very good job on that. Nailed that. I don't expect it to be that easy a second time, so I'm not going to try it hard a second time, but we nailed that. So these are bumpers, right? And you have to focus on what needs to be filled plus the bumper line. Well, this is one reasonable avenue if it's going to wait to fill that. It's the more bullish way. Okay, the more bearish way is if it doesn't come up and get rejected by here first. Rather, a more bearish sense is it just maybe goes like this, gets in my box where I kind of want to short. I don't know if it's going to get there, and it goes boom over the weekend, boom, boom, and then starts working its way up. Maybe even screams up and then makes a higher low to fill the gap once CME is open. Like that. Let me make these a little bigger right here and here. And these are your price paths that I think are most likely over the next few days. I just clicked a button. Sorry. I don't know if that gave you a commercial or not. I accidentally clicked something. I don't know. It says ad. So I didn't mean to give you an ad if it stopped anything. All right. Now, that's it. So you could stop this video or, rewind it or whatever. This is one of these two things, or a version of it, is probably what's going to happen until July 5th and 6th. I'm telling you. These lines act as they're not perfect guides, but they're damn good guides. Imagine you're walking, you're climbing a mountain or whatever, and you need a guide to get you up there. Trying to go to Machu Picchu or whatever. in Peru, something. You have a guide. Not all guides are perfect, but they're pretty damn good. They're going to get you to where you want to go. Even you might stub a toe on the way, but that's what I got. Very, very probable that's gonna happen over the next. And so these are probable to happen. One version of these or something in between, but it's very probable that one of these happen. But the 30-month view that I just showed you about 12 to 14K, I'm not going to make the claim that those are probable. However, they're in your top 5 most probable things to happen over a 30-day period. So the short-term time frame, I just gave you the 2 most probable things until July 6th or so after American Independence Day, and then a reasonable price path over the next 30 days. And the reason I started this Bitcoin analysis off by showing this is because a lot of folks, now that they've given up on altcoins, right? And altcoins are just going to get demolished now. People finally are accepting a bear market. They're going to go try their luck in the futures. And if I have any viewers that are not in Discord who are trying to do that, the best way to lose your money is to try to catch a knife, and you're going to lose your money. And so I wanted to show that 30-day outlook because it just might go down and down and down. You might just keep longing and longing and longing and your money's going to be gone if you keep doing that. And that is what we got for short term and the next 30 days. I really hope this was helpful. So now we're going to go cover Ethereum. All right. All right, now let's go take a look at Ethereum with the idea of what I just talked about with Bitcoin, how Bitcoin over the next 30 days could hit 12 to 14K, but over the next 5 days, it's very, very likely going to hit in the high 17s or low $18,000 for the reasons I just showed. What would that look like on the Ethereum chart? So let's go get it. All right, Ethereum is, I'm going to use essentially these origin lines for now. And if you look at this, these also act as essentially pinball bumpers, right? I mean, they work pretty well. They're not exactly as accurate as trading channels, but these are essentially big trading channels, right? You can see, I mean, just look at where things bounce or where they get stopped, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Where does it start accelerating down? After it goes below, use it here. Let's zoom way in there. Just look how good these are. Look, it goes below, it used as resistance, accelerated down to where? To the next, to 2 down, to the next line. Bounce, 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 bounce. Got below it, came up to where? To retest the same line, right? So these are pretty similar stuff, but Ethereum looks like it needs to come down to about $930 or a little lower. But it looks like it could form a higher low along with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, the last dip went down to 17.6, and I just said it needs to hit about 18.1 or 17.9. That's a slightly higher low, so not quite a 45-degree angle. It's not a 45-degree angle now. It's going to be more like this because that line is there. So it could hit this and stop. However, because of Bitcoin, so the Ethereum chart is saying this could be a higher low before it then makes a lower high, essentially. So higher low, lower high type of deal, start forming a triangle. That could happen. However, Bitcoin is saying that reasonable price path, which happens a lot on all coins, it's saying it's improbable. It's improbable that this is going to be a higher low for the reasons I showed on Bitcoin, right? Therefore, it's likely going to come down here to $930 land. It could come up first to make a higher low and then go meet it, because that was one of the price paths on Bitcoin. So you're either going to get some version of this over the next few days. Actually, let me go ahead and go like this. I will put on do I have a smaller trading channel? One got broken. That one's, wow, this is all bad. Wow. Yeah, it's out. That was like an 8-month-long trading channel. Just broke out of it. That's really bad. So that's why I'm using origin lines, because it's busting it down out of all the channels I've made. So the price paths for Ethereum, given the reasonable price paths for Bitcoin, it could come up, make some type of lower high, and then in the more bullish case, the way Bitcoin would fill a gap, and then comes down to 920, about 930, and then decide something from there. Right over the next 5 days, I'm seeing 930 pop up. right? But the avenue with which it gets there, it could do something a little different. It could go down, then go sideways a while, and it could go below it and come up and use it as resistance. Actually, no, that would be the price path per Bitcoin. So it could just go boom, 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 go below it, because a lot of altcoins, remember, they make lower lows as Bitcoin makes higher lows when Bitcoin dominance is going up. So it could easily go below it, then come up to use it as resistance, because Bitcoin dominance is going up. And I've already shown you in my recent videos that even on the 5-minute scale, as Bitcoin was making even low, like sideways low, bouncing around on the same horizontal, Ethereum was making lower low, lower low, lower low. Bitcoin, so I think that's a very reasonable price path in two cases that Bitcoin makes a higher low, higher than the 17,600 low that it made 15 days ago or so. If Bitcoin makes a higher low, Ethereum could easily make a lower low. Over the next 7 days, I could see 930 being a local low, or somewhere down as close, somewhere around 1850. It could go below that origin line and then use it as resistance, as we just saw in this, in this segment here, portion of this live show. That's exactly, price behaves like that around these origin lines. Sometimes it goes below it, then use it as resistance, and then heads lower, right? So if it does this, it's probably not gonna recover from there, and Bitcoin likely would also keep going down per the idea that I just showed you. In July or early August, just within the next 35 days, Bitcoin could easily be at 12 to 14K. So over the next 5 days or 7 days, that's what I got for Ethereum. Now, what would that look like? What would Ethereum look like if Bitcoin really does, over the next 30 days, hit that 14K horizontal? So let's go ahead and do this. So if this were to happen, okay, hit my COSA box, what percentage is that? So the red line is here of current price. So in 21, 30 days, that's 30% down, and Bitcoin dominance is going up, so it's going to be more than 30% down on Ethereum. It will be more. I'm telling you, it'll be more than 30% if that were to happen. So current price, roughly here, about 21 days out. That's too low. So honestly, it really looks like over the next 30 days, it'll dip below this blue line and then use it as resistance. Wow, that would be bad. So over the next 30 days, if Bitcoin were to take one of those reasonable price paths, it will go below this line and come up and use it as resistance. It'll tag it from below. And that would be close to $600 Ethereum in the month of July, and today's the last day of June. So starting tomorrow, this month, essentially. So if I could skip forward, 4.5 hours, that's this month. $650 Ethereum this month. You need to be ready for it, folks. You need to be ready for it. Especially if you're somebody on Twitter with .f after your name or something like this. This could get really bloody. And please don't be out there trying to long every low, because this could just be lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, over and over and over and over again, trying to catch a bottom. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, and I think things could really accelerate to the downside. So if you have given up on altcoins, which hopefully you have by now, and you realize, I'm going to throw all my money in futures, don't try to make money by going long and thinking you're a genius hitting a bottom, because you're not, and you're going to lose your money. I'm trying to show you this visually. Things could get very bearish, and this also is not giving you, I'm not inciting violence or inciting trading actions by, giving you reasons to be short either. I'm not giving you any signals here. These are just, I'm warning you about the idea that things could really accelerate to the downside. So please be careful out there. Even if you're trying to short, trading with the trend, it's safer, but it's still not very safe, especially if you're trying to deal with futures. Even with really good guidance, you can really hurt yourself if you're not following rules. So be safe, and that's what we got for Ethereum. All right, now I was slightly long-winded with those two. Now one coin. I'm going to cover KDA first. So let's go look at Kadena. Everybody freaking loves Kadena, so let's waver. Everybody loves Kadena. I remember I used to do that with Cardano. All right. So Kadena, my lower end target is now 65 cents. I think it's going to go lower than what I thought earlier, and let's take a look. I'm going to take, well, I need to clean up my object tree a little bit. However, all right, I'll take this off for a little bit. Now, these are origin lines, essentially, yeah, origin lines for Kadena, all right? And the bottom origin line as of now is this. So let's keep this in mind. The bottom origin line as of now is here, right? As I've shown you with literally even Bitcoin, its previous bottom origin line has been broken. It's done. It's below its previous master bottom, like super bottom origin line. It's below it. And pretty much every altcoin on earth, Kadena hasn't hit it yet, but they all are going under it. They're all of them. So it's extremely logical and extremely probable, right? So when you're making guesses, it's best to guess what is the most likely thing. Kadena will too. So the bottom can't be at that line, right? It won't be. Actually, it could be. It's highly improbable. So in this trajectory that it's getting, that line would be about $1.22. But it's extremely probable to go way lower than that because everything, even Bitcoin, is going below what is its bottom origin line, right? And because I think things could go down even, so this is September over here, things could go down even beyond September, way beyond this. I'm just going to make the guess that it's going to go 2 levels down some point this year, or even it could take until February of next year. But if it hits it this year, well, guess what? That's not going to be the bottom either. It's going to be early. It's going to be around January, February. So this could actually have a price discovery down. So if this target is hit in 2022, if my 65 target is hit, 65 to 67 cent target is hit in 2022, it means that's not the bottom for Kadena. And it's going to have price discovery down. It will make all-time lows if that's it. But I don't know if it'll be hit. That's my horizontal target, my price target for just the whole bear market, which is probably going to go on until Q1 of 2023 easily. I don't think we're going to have a bottom until, I would guess, February of 2023. Therefore, you would be hoping that level is not hit this calendar year, because if it does, unless you're somebody who's logical and you think this will survive, so you want it to go below here because you're not holding it from here anymore, right? So usually people who are holding coins are the ones who are defending it. It's never going to go that low. They have the best team and scientists. I've been getting people saying that. They have scientists, and I don't fucking care. I know what price does. The scientists don't have anything to do with it. And honestly, they have more to do with the price going down than anything, because those scientists need to be paid. Since Kadena doesn't have enough revenue on its own to stay afloat, they have to sell tokens. So those scientists who are getting paid by tokens being sold are going to make the price go down. Scientists are going to make the price go down, period, in a bear market. Okay? So take your scientist and shove them, because it's going to make price go down. I'm telling you. And so that is my target. And honestly, that target might be too high. But I'm trying to wake people up who are all freaked out about this coin. It can never go. Yes, honestly, this is a conservative guess. I'm telling you, it's hard to believe, especially if you're holding it from way up here and you haven't sold yet and you're still thinking it's going to go up when it's not. Those people, you can just stop listening. But if you're a realistic person, this is a conservative guess. I'm telling you. Scientists will actually make the price go down because they need to be paid, and that's how they're going to get paid. Because Kadena doesn't have enough revenue to pay for all of its overhead. I don't even know if they have any revenue at all. But it's just there aren't many altcoins out there who are a business mature enough, who are mature enough as a business to be afloat without investors buying their coins and stuff. So that's what we got for Kadena. Now, immediate price action, I think this actually could go on it had the chance to go on a decent rally. So I'm going to do the short-term price for Kadena, but It just got rejected from both the top of the point of control and this origin line. So it has to hit either the bottom of the point of control or here. So in the meantime, in the short-term time frame, this is going down. I'm in Kadena shorts right now. It doesn't have very good liquidity to do much of a big play, like a, you know, can't do like a $10,000 or even a $5,000 position on this without really potentially screwing yourself, because there's no liquidity. At least on KuCoin there isn't enough liquidity on this, but it's the next target's down for Kadena, immediate targets. Okay, so look, Bitcoin is likely going to make a higher low. Bitcoin dominance is starting to go up again. That was Kadena's recent low. If Bitcoin performs similarly to Bitcoin, okay, it makes a higher low, maybe hits the top of this box as Bitcoin hits 18K over time, could come up here first, could come up here first, could get rejected one more time, and if it does, like, I'm shorting the fuck out of this. Or actually I wouldn't, because there's not enough liquidity to do that. But anyway, if it comes up here, it's still going to hit that box. Don't get excited if Kadena gets back up to $1.66 or $1.70. That's going to be the time to be a seller. Not financial advice. It's still going to hit this box. The question, though, is does it hit this box and make a higher low, or an equal low as Bitcoin makes a higher low? With the loose assumption that Bitcoin even makes a higher low, I don't even know. But if Bitcoin does do that, it bottoms out for a local low at 18,000 to fill the gap. Kadena is more likely to make a lower low because it doesn't have permission to bounce until it hits here, and that's lower than this. So because you can see the horizontal, so this is going to make a lower low as Bitcoin makes a higher low versus because Bitcoin over here was at 17.6. This is going to make a lower low as Bitcoin forms a higher low, most likely. It has a chance to behave like Bitcoin and make a higher low at slightly less than a 45. So usually a higher low happens about where it's at now. But bear market, I mean, it's going to be like this. It has a chance, but I think it's less likely with Bitcoin dominance going up. It's probably going to come down to $1.25 over time, or maybe, yeah, $1.22 to $1. It'll hit it somewhere in here, or it'll go wick below the bottom of the point of control and hit this origin line. So I'm going to put a black triangle here. Again, when I make triangles and boxes, what happens? They're hit over 50%, way over 50% of the time, right? Way over. All right, so I'm going to put a triangle here. I will give myself a little cushion. I will put a triangle right there. I like to make them black. Black like my heart, black and cold. And there you go. That's where I think it's going. It could stop at $1.26, $1.25, or it could go as low as $1.20. But this black triangle is likely going to be hit in the mid short term over the next week. Let's see, how long would this be? Does that align with my? Yeah, that's 4 to 7 days, kind of like what I was talking about with Bitcoin. Does it need to go straight there and stay in this exact trajectory to hit it? No, it can come up all the way here and then really start tanking and maybe hit this. It could come down to $1.25 and do it by hitting this origin line instead of hitting the bottom of the point of control. So my triangle might not be hit exactly, but the level itself extremely likely to be hit. So if I put a horizontal through this horizontal itself is extremely likely to be hit because I'm not trying to time the market. So the reason why, so triangles means I'm guessing level and timing. That's really hard to do, right? And it's honestly not even wise to try to do that all the time, to time the market. It's not wise. I just do it to show off because I have a pretty good hit rate. However, I'm letting you know, timing the market's it's a little silly, so I would be more confident in levels, like horizontals. So this horizontal, if it hits this up here first, kind of does a price path like this, which is totally possible, goes like this, boom, it's going to miss my triangle and go to the same level, though, $1.25, $1.22, to hit that origin line instead. So it has permission to bounce either from an origin line or from the bottom of the point of control. Either way, over the next 7 to 10 days, by July 10th, July 15th, or by about July 10th, this is going to see about $1.25, $1.20 to $1.25 is my strong guess, because it does not have permission to bounce. Already seen on Bitcoin and Ethereum from this live chat, like these lines that I make, they literally work like a pinball. That's the bumpers. You typically don't bounce without it. And the one exception to that is if J-Powell starts talking and the stock market brings stuff up and things bounce where they're not supposed to in crypto. It's possible. But it's very unlikely since the stock market is looking pretty bad too. So that's what we got for Kadena. It looks bearish. Please, I know people are excited about this, but if you're excited about Kadena, I'm going to end with this thought. you should be excited about it going to all-time lows, because if you know in your heart and you're confident that it's going to survive, you want to buy it cheaper, because if it survives and does anything close to getting to all-time highs, it's going to be more percentage gains. You're going to make more money the lower it goes. You should, so if you like Kadena, you should want it to go lower. I'm telling you. And now that people have accepted the bear market and they're willing to watch my videos being bearish now, because it's obvious to people now, that's what you should be rooting for. You shouldn't be rooting for it to go up. You want it to get just destroyed on price while the project team still builds. That's what you want. You want it to make all-time lows, price discovery down. You don't want it to be strong price. I'm telling you, you will make less money if it doesn't go down as low. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why Cardano, from bottom to top, had 135x. Why? Because it got destroyed last bear market harder than any other layer 1 large cap. It lost 98.77% of its value while nothing else reputable did. That's the only reason why from bottom to top it did so well. So that's what you want too. If you want big gains on Kadena, you want price to get destroyed in the bear market, but for it to survive. That's what you want. I promise you. And I see so many people trying to defend this. It can't. No. If you like it, you want it to. Okay? All right, that's Kadena. It's a little long-winded on that, but whatever. All right. And another, we might have to go longer on this. So I'm going to look at your questions here in a minute. I need to cover, I made a list. I'm probably going to have to do an hour and a half. I'm sorry. Let me do VeChain. I don't even know if I'm ready to go. That's so bad. VeChain, here we go. All right, I'm starting with origin lines once again, just like I've been showing on Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that good stuff. And just like I said with Kadena, remember, I said everything, even Bitcoin, is going below what is currently its bottom origin line. Everything will go below. Anything with decent price history. It will go, whatever its bottom origin line is, it's going to go below it. I'm surprised it got there that fast, but this bear market is going to be worse than what I anticipated months ago when I made this target. So it's already hitting my bear market target, which means that ain't it. What you have to do for this is make a level down. And technically, I might have to make another layer after that, to be honest, because that's where the last one went. That's coronavirus dump. That one might stop it, so let's make this a little bolder. That one has a chance to stop it, but if that doesn't work, then it's going to be one of these. Therefore, your bear market targets for VeChain, given that it's already hit my target that I made months ago, it's going to be around 1.5 cents. I'll just do this, watch. I might have to have another one. And the reason why I'm making them farther over is the lower it goes, the longer it needs to get there, right? So it needs to, it needs to respect the time axis. I can't just make them straight down, right? Because it's lower down, therefore it takes longer to get there. So I'm kind of making it at an angle like that for my guess here, and make this a little bit more parallel so it doesn't look as goofy. Something like this. All right, so honestly, this is probably too close. That ain't gonna be it. So bear market target is right at a penny for VeChain, folks. I'm telling you. Right at a penny. I think it's gonna go so from the coronavirus dump, it's gonna go a whole origin line down to a penny. Like that's right at a psychological number. It's gonna be attracted towards that. That would be my updated bear market target, because obviously that one's not holding up that I made a long, long time ago. Now that's your extended outlook for VeChain. It has a strong chance of bouncing around 1.5, so 1.5 pennies. But overall, I wouldn't be excited about a bottom until it hits 1 cent exactly. Would not be excited about it. Now, more immediately, if Bitcoin does go down over the next 30 days to 12 to 14K, which I think I said that was about 30% or so, there you go. VeChain will go down a little more. So it looks like it'll go below this box. Something to this effect. So I'm going to do, I did long-term analysis, now I'm doing midterm. It looks like it'll go below, then come back up and try to get on top of it. So if Bitcoin, by early August, that's actually too much. It's too much still. Yeah, about July 30th. It looks like it will come down within the next 30 days to about 1.4 cents. Maybe bounce at 1.5 cents, but it looks like 1.4 to 1.3. It'll go below this line, then come up and maybe use it as resistance or try to get back on it. It's going to dip below there in the event Bitcoin really does start accelerating to the downside. I'm not saying this is a probable price path, but this is among the top 5 most probable. However, I will give you probable price paths for the next 7 days. So this is a 30-day deal. This is more like a 2 to 3 month deal, like a penny. All right, so let's get rid of this guy. And over the I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart and get rid of this box since it's already been hit. All right. If you look left here, look at structure. This white line was the daily open. I can see this is not the same structure as Bitcoin. This is behaving a little bit differently. In the immediate term, I could see it. Yeah, so wick down, up, up, up. I could see it coming to as high as something. I could see it coming up to 2.4 cents. That could easily happen. So that would be my upper limit of what happens over the next 7 days. Over the next 7 days, it shouldn't get over 2.4 cents at all. If it gets there at all, right? That would be my maximum. However, look at this recent low when Bitcoin made the low at 17,600. And Bitcoin is going to potentially make a higher low. Altcoins will make a lower low, most likely to Bitcoin's higher low. So if, it could go up to here, but over the next 7 days, I would suspect it might actually stop at this line. This might make a higher low along with Bitcoin. I would say it goes down to 2.06 pennies, so 0.206. And that would be a higher low, actually, barely. But it has a good chance of bouncing. That's a pretty strong line. So over the next 7 days, it could go as high as 2.4 cents, but over the next 7 days, I think it has a strong chance of coming all the way down to 0.205. And that's short-term analysis, midterm, and mid-long-term for VeChain. All right. Now, I have a little girl coming over here bothering me, so I will start looking at questions now, and I'll stop doing self-service. That sounds self-service. Tim's doing live self-service. Not what I meant to say. All right. You're not supposed to be in the video, so stay back. Fart face.
Fart face.
You're a fart face.
You fart face.
Fart breath. All right. Okay, question time. Okay. I'm going to turn my air conditioner for a minute. Close my door. Okay. It's going to sound windy. Just let me have it on for 60 seconds here. All right. Yeah, great time to, if you like this so far, hit the like button, help me out, help out a content creator, and leave a quick, just leave an emoji comment down below, help the algo, because the bots that scour the internet for anything financial service related, they don't hit my live shows quite as much, so leave me a quick emoji comment down below, and let's look at Don't Ask. All right, Don't Ask, I haven't seen your name before. I don't recognize it, so welcome to the YouTube tiers. And again, the YouTube tiers for everybody. You hit the join button down below. Any video, I don't know if the live video, and you get essentially you get first dibs on live stream questions. All right, so let's take a look at it. I lost thousands since the bear market started in futures. Yep, that's that sounds normal. I'm sorry to hear that, but it is. I've been through it too. We all have. That's why I'm here trying to beg people not to think their changes is long and everything. I know it sucks. It sucks, but you can recover money. So I'll keep reading your question. All right, don't ask. Started in futures, learning. Yeah, so at least you're able to laugh about it now, but it still hurts. I understand. I'm doing a little better now, but I doubt I'll ever make that money back for a long time. Okay. Well, here, okay, so you need to watch something on my channel that it might be in the playlist of most important videos I've ever made, but go to my channel. I'm telling you, I'm about ready to tell you, like, I'm not going to sit here and take up time because I already have it recorded. You need to go to my channel and search within my channel, or you could just do Cosas Verdes and the whole YouTube channel search. But I think the title is something Futures Trading Tips. You just put Cosas Verdes Futures Trading, or go to my channel and search Futures Trading. And it's the one that has a thumbnail, fairly fancy thumbnail that says Futures Trading Tips or Futures, Tips, something like that. Look for that. It's about a 6-minute video. And I essentially show you, if you want to get that money back, I'm still a little sick, sorry. If you want to get that money back, the key is don't try to get it back all at once. You'll just lose more money. The basis of it is any money that you put into futures, whether it's $100 or $100,000, if you are learning, it will all go to zero. So why not choose $100? It's going to go to zero anyway as you're learning. And that's the basis of it. And in that video, I tell you the logic why. I tell you the logic why. And try to get folks on the right track to learning how to do it. And it all goes down if you if you've ever, paid to learn how to golf, golf swings at a golf range, or went to a batting cage, you have to pay money to take those swings. So why don't you make, so let's talk about golf. Golf bucket of balls. Your future scout, just see it as a bucket of balls. Don't spend $100,000 on a bucket of balls. Don't spend $1,000 on a bucket of balls. Spend $50 on a bucket of balls and go get as many swings as you can. When you are hitting those bucket of balls at a driving range that you paid for those balls, are you trying to make money? Are you betting people? Hopefully you're not betting people how far you can hit or whatever. No. You're doing it to learn. You're not at a driving range paying money to bet and to make money. You're there to learn. That's the way it is in futures too. If you're just starting out, don't try to make money right away, because it will go to zero, no matter how good and smart you are. Trust me, I'm really good at math, right? I had to take college level classes in high school. And I blew my count 6 times. I'm good with patterns and shapes. I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes. The old method, because I'm older, so I can do it the layer method in like 90 seconds with a nice lubed cube, speed cube. I probably average more like 100 seconds. But anyway, so I'm good with that. And I still blew my account 6 times. You're going to too. So don't only do it with $100. The last 3 times I blew it, I only put $169 in. But the first 3 times, it was a lot more than that. That's the way you do it. Go watch that video. All right. That's a great question. And I know you're a part. Welcome to the club. You have gone through futures trading 101. That's the first lesson. You lose everything you put in when you're learning. And the worst thing that could ever happen to you when you're learning is if you do well your first month and you 5x your account. That's the worst thing that can happen. The best thing that can happen to you when you're learning futures is it stays flat or just slides down the whole time until it's zero. That's the absolute best thing that can happen to you. And it would be better if it happened 3 times in a row, because then you develop a fear for the market before you ever try putting thousands of dollars in. It would actually be against you if you did really well, had beginner's luck, because it'll go up 10x, which I did that too. I took an account from like 3,200. It wasn't 10x. It was more like 5. I took $15,000-$20,000. Thought I was a genius, and then it all went to zero. And because I knew I could do it, I put in another $2,000 or $3,000, and I made it 5x again, and it all went to zero. It's just the way it is. So start with $100. Bucket of balls. You're not there to make money. You're there to learn, until one day the $100 just never goes back to zero. That's when you know you can start putting in more money. All right. Anyway, sticking up to Gala. So I'm going to be stacking up on Gala and P soon. Okay, so don't ask. Okay, listen. There's not a bottom, man. I would not stack up on any altcoin soon. Unless they're already 99% down or 98% down. Okay, begin DCAing. But any number of dollars that you plan to put towards it, like grab onto that amount, I would only do 25% of the total amount that I want to spend on it. This is not over yet. The altcoins are gonna get their asses kicked. I wouldn't do it soon, but if you do go in soon, do it lightly. Use it as a dollar cost average with the strong assumption everything you just bought will go down another 50% because it's probably what's gonna happen. Or just wait until February 2023. Wait, and so just save money. And sit back and do nothing. Honestly, sometimes no trade is the best trade, especially with altcoins right now. All right, DCF, nice to see you. I think I recognize you. I don't think you're new to the tiers, but if you are, welcome to the YouTube tiers. I'm skipping a bunch of questions to look to see DCF's question because he's a YouTube tier member. Tim, can you do analysis on Harmony 1 again since they had a $100 million bridge hack and the bear target that I had previously? So, okay. All right. So can I cover Harmony 1 again? Yes, I can. And the reason the DCF community tier member is asking is because it had a hack and my bear market target that I already put in, it did not hold. What are realistic targets? I have buys around 006. So let's go check out Harmony 1. Might help to get off the 1 hour chart. I mean, it's bouncing right out my line, but that's not the bottom, obviously. So per your point, that won't be the bottom. Okay. All right. Well, actually, I can just go like this. Yeah, that is a pretty steep slope. Yeah, so I can see what you're talking about in price. This is a steeper slope than almost anything else. So that's the hack you're talking about. I mean, I can just tell by the slope of this drop, it's more aggressive. But it's probably gonna get stuck in there, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, 006 would mean it bounces off of that dotted line there, which is an origin line, it's dotted not because it's less powerful necessarily, but it's just so I can see it better. What's the time frame on that? 86 days. Put September. Yeah, honestly, 0045 to 0060 is not a bad range. So I will go ahead and, yeah, I will. It looks like something to. One of these two boxes look like it'll be hit. Yeah, 0045 to 0060. Those are pretty solid targets, and it's going to take a little bit to get there. You know, it could be fall time, September, October, but this is a pretty aggressive trading channel, and yeah, it looks like it's going to get there over time. I think you have the right head on your shoulders there for this price. Now, that's long term. For short term price analysis for Harmony One, it looks like it's going to come up. And let me adjust this just a little bit here. I can finesse this area just a little bit better. Something. Accidental, that's what she said statement, but it needs to be a little bit thicker. All right, now go to the 5 minute. Short term, it looks like it could. It's not going to get to 2 pennies. This bounce is not going to get to 2. It just got rejected. So this white line is its daily open. Man, no one's even traded. So when a chart looks like this means no one's trading it. This has got real. So people are just done with this. Theirs is very low volume. This looks bad. This is really bad. I would say it has a chance very short term to go 0.0189 or 0.0190 in the short term, and I don't think it'll get any higher than that before it goes lower. That's the highest I could see it going. It might, no, actually I could see it coming up to this wick. I could see it hitting that. That's 0.92. I could see it hitting that. So that would be a failure pattern above this line. That would go like, it would do, yeah, it would be so it would go above this line, but then come back crushing. Yeah, so it could get to 0.0192, but it's getting rejected by the daily open where the daily started, where it broke down. So it's probably done. That in the short term, and then it's going to continue making lower lows most likely with Bitcoin. So this is making lower lows anyway. So this is just, so I mean, if you want to even more tightly knit figure, you can do a micro channel. So when did this trajectory start, that, you know, the angle of attack here? And I would say it started this angle about here. So you could just do this. It's going to continue to stay that accelerated until it breaks out of this and uses what I'm about to show you as support. It will continue its nosedive until that happens. I'm telling you, that's exactly what will be true. It will continue to accelerate down until this little channel right here. Okay, so micro guy. So this is like a micro channel within a channel, a bigger channel. It's going to stay in this until this is used as support, period. And that could happen about now, because there is an origin line here. So it could wiggle its way out, go like this, come up, get rejected, and then fall back into it. So even if it does get above it, you know, something like this, boom, 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 gets rejected, it'll just fall right back into it. You know, by July 10th, it might be a little longer. It might be like July. Actually, it could get stuck in this area. Actually, over the next 7 days, you could spend a lot of time getting stuck here. Big fake out, boom, and then fall back into it. Boom, boom, and when CME's open, bam. I could see that happening. Ooh, that'd be a big drop. Wow. That could happen as well. And that would still be like 0.0190 potentially. So it could use this origin line of support, but then use this point of control essentially this channel, this larger channel as resistance, and then come below the origin line, use it as resistance, then really catch up and just tank like crazy. That'd be a massive short if that were to happen. I could see that happening. That's the more bullish case, unfortunately. But if it does do that, it's going to fall right back into this channel. And it could use it as support once it falls back in, but it's going to come touch it if this were to happen. And it's probably going to be just after July 4th, if not slightly before, but it's going to be before July 10th that happens. And that's the short term, and that would bring it down to 0.0125 after July 4th. And that's Harmony 1. Short term and long term. All right. By the way, since everyone is talking about BTC, just had a 1K 5%. Ooh, did it? Wow. I did not expect that. Well, I just entered positions and got stopped out immediately. So that was essentially a stop cascade. Yep, I had orders in here with my stop already in. Bummer. Yes, sir. That's how it happens sometimes. Wow. So it's just whales pissing around with Bitcoin. This did not happen on. Huh. Wow. Usually I would say if it comes up to the point of control, gets rejected, it's a good short opportunity. But when it gets this hot, you don't try shorting into hot stuff like that. You don't do it. And if you do, you're risking your money big time. It did go straight up to the daily open. That white line's the daily open. That's where the day started. So let's see here. Yeah, I would wait for a lower high to try that. Yep, that's just big money screwing around. It could be exchanges themselves too. Yeah, if you want to be in a land with volatility, it goes both ways. So, that's the way it works. Yeah, that's pretty insane. That's extremely unlikely to happen. 5% in just a few minutes. Wow. Damn. Unbelievable. It's going to come straight back down, though. Yep, that's pretty impressive. Straight up to the open line, so it's going to be, I would say it's probably going to go, it'll bounce around for a while, but then come back down. Yeah, but don't try shorting into that. That's a big mistake. Shorting into hot stuff. You got to wait until a higher low or two. So don't try thinking you're a genius shorting into that. I just probably lost about a couple hundred, maybe even $300 getting stopped out because I entered right through here in this 1% range, and I had my stop just over that wick. So it just all happened in 3 minutes. Just here you go, you're filled up. Here you go, you're stopped out for $250 loss. So it is sometimes. Sometimes it comes up perfectly though, and then I look back and then I'm like $800 in profit. Like that happens too. But yep, that's a weird one. Highly improbable situation, but it happened. One giveaway though, something I missed because I was talking about other coins, is usually when you see this pattern here, with kind of this is a pretty aggressive one though, but it usually is a little bit more scoop-like. If you can get something like this shape specifically after a hard low, a higher low, and then it makes a roundish shape up. That's when that kind of stuff happens. This is a pretty aggressive one, but yep, big money had a plan. I'm not for sure what they're planning though. Might have to do with the 6-month closure. Oh yeah, because it was the end of the 6 month. That's why that's what's happening there. Yep, the 6 month candle just closed and the monthly candle just closed. So you're getting big money creating volatile stuff at the monthly candle close. Checking back at the daily open, and 19 did it actually hit that? Guessing they were just retesting this. Yep, it went straight up to the, so that's the daily open line. So the daily opened at essentially 6-month area. So that is that's pretty wicked. That's really wicked. I would not have anticipated that, but it's just a quick backfill. Like 2 minutes after the 6-month candle closed and the monthly candle closed. Highly improbable situation, but that's what you get. All right. So let's keep rocking and rolling. Yeah, that was it end of day attack? Let's look. It might have been beginning of day. So 20. Nope, it was end of day attack. That's exactly what it was. Yep. And right after the daily candle started, that's when that red 5-minute candle happened. That's the first 5-minute candle of the day. So yeah, it was an end of day attack. Wow, that's a big one though. That's an exaggerated one. But all you got to do when that kind of stuff happens, and you lose money because of it, hopefully with stops, right? So you have a calculated. So I already knew if I were stopped out, I already had calculated how much I would lose. So I already knew this was a decent possibility that in general I'd be stopped out. Not like that, not on a 3-minute candle, but it happens sometimes. But over time, and when those things happen, you gotta figure out, okay, well, what was the situation? And if I were big money, why would I do that? How am I going to make money from this? And that's all you can do to better anticipate in the future. There might have been some people out there expecting a retest of that monthly line area, which the daily opened there as well. But to happen in literally 6 minutes, I don't think anybody would have guessed that. You would have probably thought it would happen a little over time. But yeah, that's some pretty intense stuff. All right. Yeah, that's a highly improbable situation, but it happened. Monthly and 6-month closure, I guess, did make it slightly more probable. All right, so let me start looking at some other questions here. Yeah, I can absolutely look at Cardano. Everything's going up to their daily open line. So that's the top. So this channel is kind of like the one I have on Bitcoin. It's an 8-month long channel. So Cardano, short term, is going to get rejected by its point of control. If it gets there, it looks like it actually will. It looks like it's going to poke its head above here. So it's going to go up to 47 cents, something like this. Pretty aggressive stuff. Again, I wouldn't short into that necessarily because it's too hot still. You need to wait till a lower high. Like, don't try shorting in just because it's going up. Like, when it's that hot, yeah. Trust me, if you try that 100 times, the most success you'd have over those 100 times is to wait till it gets a low or high. I'm telling you. Under those conditions. So yeah, it looks like it's going to hit its point of control about 46 to 47 cents, and then most likely work its way back down, would be my guess. Looks like a good setup, though. Highly probable setup if it can get there. It could get stopped by one of these wicks down, so wick down, wick down, wick down. So if you want to, you can just take a line and go, boom, it could stop there. Boom, it could stop in this box. It's already in this box, actually, so let's go like this. So wick down to wick down, bam. That might have been it. It might hit this area here, which would come up just shy of that point of control. So these wicks down, they tend to stop price when it's in a corrective bounce. So a bounce that will go back down later. So anywhere, I would say, but yeah, 46 to 47 cents is where that's going to stop. 47 and change, like 471, 472, somewhere around there. That's short term. Long term for Cardano, or mid term, if Bitcoin does fill the gap over early July, it's going to go down to 38 cents, most likely. Could stop at 40. 40 and change, just under 40 cents. However, I would say it has a decent chance of hitting somewhere like 38 to 40 cents over the next 7 to 10 days. And long term, it's probably just going to stay in this channel. Any dip down below, it'll probably pop back up, type of deal. So this trading channel will probably get most of the price for the next, even like 5, 6, 7, maybe even a whole year. It'll probably have a lot of support. So the last time it went below the channel, what did it do? Got right back up, used it as support, got up, used it as support, got up, essentially used it as support, skyrocketed, support. So it's going to keep using this as support. This goes back to all-time highs. So if you wanted to essentially copy this, I would go to the 4-hour chart. So put your trading view on 4 hours. And you can pause this and do your best. Here, let me get myself out of the way. Pause this and try to replicate that. And that's what we got for Cardano. All right, it's getting a little late here. Have I done near protocol? No. If so, ignore me, but I would really like a bear market target for FTM if BTC goes to 12K. All right, so if Bitcoin does go to 12K, which is among the top 5 most probable things to happen over the next 30 to 40 days, it's not the most probable necessarily, but if that were to happen, where would Fantom find itself? That is a well-phrased question, so let's jump into Fantom. If I remember correctly, that would be, so all these bear market targets have just been destroyed, and that would be 30% on Bitcoin. Let's start off by just measuring down about 35 to 40. There you go. So it's just the bottom of this. If Bitcoin were to hit 12, it's gonna go around, it's gonna go under 15 cents over the next 30 days. So what you would do is essentially take a loose trajectory of where things have been going. So it's under that. Yikes, that's not good. That's actually really bearish. All right, trajectory, does that take 30? Yeah, that takes a little over 30 days. 30 days would be about here. So yeah, 15, right at 15 cents. For Fantom, if Bitcoin were to go to 12K by August 1st or late July, which again is not the most probable scenario, but it's among the top 4 or 5 most probable scenarios and among all the crazy things that could happen within 30 days. And then immediate stuff, this is looking pretty bad. Man, this is among the more... Yeah, it also got up to its daily open. It's not... This could get stuck in a triangle for a while. I would say short-term price action, it could want to do this, get stuck in this triangle, boom, boom, and then walk its way down after it hits that channel. That'd be about the most bullish thing I see. So it might not start going down for... That'd be the absolute most bullish. Highest I can see it going in the next 10 days is just a penny higher than where it is now, like or 1.5 cents, 26.50. It's not going to go higher than that in the next 10 days. And yeah, it's just going to follow that. It's already using it as resistance. So it could, so if Bitcoin were to bounce and not fill the CME gap for some strange reason, which is possible, it could work its way up and get rejected by that and then go down. So essentially making an equal high to that guy for a little fake out to the upside. That could happen as well, but I would be confident saying over the next 10 days, it's not going to get above 26.5, 26.6, because you have this very defined line here, and it's obviously resistance at this point, but it could also get stuck in a triangle until July 10th, and when it starts trickling down later in July, to make a series of lower lows and lower highs. Kind of like this. I could see that happening again. So take a fractal of this. Honestly, it might just hit repeat. It might go like that, and boom. There you go. And that would be hitting my exact target, oddly enough, roughly a little bit less than 30 days out. It hits that target for a reason, because stuff just aligns. And that's what we got for short-term, mid-term for Fantom. All right. They do it to try to close shorts, and then they make back when all the shorts are forced to buy up more BTC. Yeah. So that was a stop cascade essentially. They drove on spike. Big money drove price up, essentially to retest that, but they knew they didn't have to buy all the way up because shorts would cascade on futures, which would bring then spot price up by all the bots. All you got to do is run it up into where the shorts start, the stops start cascading, and then it takes care of itself from there. Probably have to drive up price 60% of the way to that monthly 6-month candle area. That's what happens. But if you have $100 million to play with, you can do that stuff too. And it's not really illegal. So it's just part of it, and it all creates patterns. But it does make things slightly more unpredictable at times and a little bit more frustrating. And it's a bummer that it happens on Bitcoin because it is factual. It's harder to make money over time on things that are traded on high frequency bots. It makes it a lot harder. For example, playing chess. If you play chess against a really strong machine, you're never going to win. Not even the best player in the world. Like, as in never. Ever. Ever. Right? Not even Magnus can beat the best machine out there. Not even close. Sometimes, when Magnus plays it, the machine just sits there and moves a rook back and forth. Not even progressing pieces. No human would ever do that, but it is the best, so it's a bummer that this is happening on Bitcoin, but that's the way it is. There's not much liquidity, not many people pissing around with it, so the big money is going to move it hardest. That's the way it is. So it's a bull market. Then the only way they're going to drive it really is mostly down for flash crashes, right? In moments, usually at nighttime when the liquidity's thin, no one's buying, the order books get thin, they can eat up a bunch of orders and flash crash it after they take on a bunch of shorts, and then they sell Bitcoin on spot. Usually during bull markets, they only create the flash crashes and just let normal people rip it up to the upside. $20 drop on Sol. Yeah, Sol is a little easy to. Sol's fairly predictable. Yeah, it's not quite to my targets. It's gonna go a lot lower. But yeah, even so, like here, I was talking about, like it was right here, recorded a video. Yeah, it's probably gonna bounce in this area. It could go all the way up to 150, which it did, and then it's gonna still hit $12. Tried to warn people, even if it hits 150, which it hit 146 after my recording, like a month ago after, it's still going to hit 12. Yeah, it's going to come down lower. It honestly might hit even single digits. It could bust below here, but this is kind of my target. And it could be too high. Could be way too high. If you're not already out of your short position, that is not good. But if you're still in it at a loss, should you give it up now? If you're still in it, that's first off unfortunate, but no, I would, if it breaks above this high, I would scramble out, but it's probably going to get rejected from here is what I would guess, but it might not. This could be the lower high we're looking for. But it's just too hot of a move so I would wait. I would wait to see if this candle actually can stay below the daily open, which it's at now, getting rejected from it. And if you're unfortunately still in it at a loss, I would just wait a little longer and mark it out if Bitcoin gets back over this. Because if it's back over this, it could go all the way up to the top of the trading channel. This traditional markets are closed. Big money can move this. You know, actually, no. I guess CMEs are open for traditional markets, and they're kind of going up right now too. They're playing games with that as well, which is normal. Spots closed, so they can drift it up. Yeah, Bitcoin can come all the way up to 21K if that happens. So you want to get out if this is broken. But as of now, I think it's slightly more likely that it does get rejected by this line, but it's not guaranteed. So since it's likely and you're still in, I would wait until that. That's just a little bit of percentage more, right? It's not. Yeah, it's 0.25%, but it's a big deal because it could just come slamming back down. We'll see. That would be my answer to that. That's a good question. Hey, lovely R6. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. And again, since you joined, you know, the YouTube tier, either one, when you ask questions, I can see an emblem so I can skip straight to your questions, even though I'm about ready to wrap this biatch up. I think this is just end of monthly closure volatility. Just big money doing funky stuff. Potentially because of the futures positions they had, and they didn't want to lose that much money since they guessed wrong, so they drove it up to on spot, so they lost less money on their futures calls. That's essentially what that is. Actually, now that I think of it, yeah, it's likely to help them not lose. So there it goes. I would get out now. I would get out now. Whoever asked that question, get out. Yeah, you need to get out. Yep, this is some wild stuff happening. Wow. That's why you don't short into hot moves. Ever. And I'm saying this because I've done it and I know it doesn't work. I would only try it if it's hitting something like the weekly 10 EMA or something, but even then I've been screwed a few times. Wow. What is big money doing? This is so it's going to go straight up to here. I'm going to put a short order in for that. I will do it here. This is not financial advice. Almost done. All right. That's just freaking insanity. That's some nutty stuff, everybody. That is not something you see every month. I didn't anticipate that at all. I don't know if anybody really did. So let's try to figure out what it was hitting. So let's mark off monthly. So it looks like it just wants to get the backfill of the month done right away so it can keep spilling. Nothing there. Nothing there. I don't know what this is. But it likely has something to do with futures having expired, or not futures, bigger positions on the this is fucking crazy. Hit that line. Let's go. This is freaking wild. Yeah, this is something to do with the monthly, quarterly, and 6-month close. So big money is trying to do something, and I can't think of what would incentivize them to do this. Because they didn't give themselves much time to stack on longs. So it's not necessarily that. It might have to do more with options. In order to spare themselves such a big loss, they drove it up, and this is just the momentum now that it kicked in bot. It might be a chain reaction, but the first one probably has something to do with options expiring. Would be my guess. It would be my guess, but I can't put a finger on it. How big money's making money from this, or losing less money from this outside of that. This is pretty wild. Yeah, you have to have incentive in order to take the huge risk to spend. I mean, this is tens and tens and tens and tens of millions, maybe over 100 million. Maybe not 100. It's tens of millions of dollars to make this happen on spot. It's big risk. So they're either making a lot of money or patting themselves from losing so much money because they made the wrong play. Yeah, this is intense. This does not happen regularly. It's really intense. Whew. Oh, so my stopped out, my risk management on Bitcoin, so for a fairly large position, $183. It's not bad. That's not bad. For a weird scenario like this, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know a whole ton about traditional market type of money and what incentivizes them to make this happen. So I'm probably not the best resource to try to figure out what's going on. But there is a clear reason, and it has to do with either having made money or stopping themselves from losing so much money from a bad play. This is crazy. Yeah, it's probably gonna hit the top of the point. It's probably gonna hit 21,100. It's probably what's getting ready to happen. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that's pretty exciting at the end of the live show. This is pretty fun stuff to watch. This is crazy. Gosh, I've just entered other things that spiked up into all of my orders. So all the money, so on a couple positions I just got stopped out on, I entered a lot of positions that look pretty nice. KDA being one. Yeah, I hope this slams back down, which it probably will, but it's not a guarantee because this is a hot move. All right, cool, everybody. So I might next week move these live chats up to 6 p.m. or move it forward or make it an hour earlier because my European crowd, at least Western European crowd, can watch. Did Elon Musk just tweet now? It has to do with end of month, end of quarter. So the quarterly candle, monthly candle, 6-month candle just happened. It has to do with something with big money positions they had. It's something to do with that. I don't know, but there'll probably be something news article on it tomorrow with some type of reasonable explanation to try to understand the incentive of big money to do that. Yeah, because they, a lot of Europeans want me to do this an hour earlier. So I think I can do that. So next week, just remember, it might be an hour earlier, but obviously I'll be posting on Twitter, all that great stuff, just to remind you what time it'll be. But heads up for an hour earlier next week. Be safe out there. This is why you set stops. Okay, let me show you. I had my short orders in here. And it was probably like $5,000 worth of stuff. And I got wicked out, obviously, on 1 3-minute candle, entered and stopped out, because I put my stop above that, pretty common play. And a multi-$1,000 position, only $183 loss. Thank God I had my stop in there, which is why you set stops, even before you enter. And on my Discord, I show people how to do that. Like, how can you set a stop before you're even in the position? Show them how to do that. So yeah, I only took a $183 hit, which is, for me, for that size of position, that's really good. That's a good stop out position when you're wrong. and especially to guard you against weird shit like this, big money trying to do stuff, but they have permission to. It's their Bitcoin too, and it's their markets as well. So if you want less regulation, you're going to have this shit happen. I'm a proponent of it. So just sets up another opportunity. Any door closed just opens up another door later, in my opinion, as long as it stays volatile. Where you don't make money is when things don't get volatile, right? All right. Yep. Hey, move to 6 p.m. Yeah, a lot of people are saying probably be 6 p.m. next week. Look out for that, and we'll see you next time.